and then get the funding in place to upgrade that interchange the way it needs to. There's a lot of trucking there. It's very, very important for our Mid-Valley, the health of our economy, that be very functional and very safe. Another one, the Brook Lake interchange, ostensibly our northern interchange. Everybody who lives north, where are you going to go? You're going to head to Brook Lake. Right now, is it very easy to use? No, and it hasn't been for years. The interchange area management plan for that is now a funded project on the next 5-year statewide transportation improvement plan. So once the study is done, projects will be identified, and we'll get working on getting those funded and built. It is unsafe now. It is underperforming at every single level. Heavens bless all of the businesses that have succeeded out there. They rock to be able to do that, but clearly we need to upgrade that interchange, and we're working hard to get the plan and funding in place to get that done. Finally, you probably heard about the Oregon Port of Willamette application for a transload facility. I went to the Oregon Transportation Commission this last month and testified in favor of that project. So they are taking another look at all 3 projects, and they're going to be coming back with more information. They should gavel down on which projects will be funded, probably April or May. So watch for that. It's a great project, folks. It's great for our community, our traded sector in this region, and also to get our trucks and our freight out of the Portland bottleneck. So, all that, we still have to look at our urban growth boundary. So there have been a number of projects and studies that have been done. We just completed the cost of growth report, and that's available on our website. Other cities have experiences with growth, but none of them are in a shared urban growth boundary. We can learn from their experiences, what worked and what didn't, but at the end of the day, ours is going to be unique because our situation is unique for this state. One of the recommendations at the end said, quote, "This will require robust engagement with Keizer residents, workers, and business people." In my copy of it, I wrote one word next to that. Duh. Of course it's going to be robust in community conversation. Welcome to Keizer. That's how we roll. Keizer Revitalization Project is now underway. We're evaluating the market issues, development potential, and possible land use efficiency measures that can be implemented for our major corridors, namely River Road and Cherry. This study is expected to be completed around June. We are now involved in a building lands inventory housing needs analysis. Anybody tried to rent or buy a residential property recently? There's not much available, and it turns over quickly. Our new population forecast specific to Keizer and our land needs, this is all looking at our housing supply. The next open house will be May 29th. Put that on your calendar. The current housing needs analysis shows we need about 4,500 housing units, of which 2738 can be built on our current land. That leaves at least 1,674 units that are needed by 2033. Now that sounds like a long way out. And indeed, things will change between now and 2033. I certainly hope so. Keizer is a severely rent-burdened city. That's got to change. With 27% of our neighbors paying 50% or more of their income on rent alone. Now, you all know as well as I do that land supply, the cost of construction, and the need for more family wage jobs all factor into this terrible situation for so many in our city. I'm looking forward to hearing what options may be available to get housing supply and demand back into better balance. We're doing another study that will be coming after this called the Transportation Impacts from Growth Study. So following the revitalization project, we will look at the impacts that will be created in our regional transportation system from 3 scenarios: infill only, infill plus urban growth boundary expansion, UGB expansion only. Well, here's a hint. Infill's already happening. So the rest of the question will be urban growth boundary expansion, yes, no, how much, where, and so forth. Again, that is very much a big question mark out there that we will chart the course for the future. I appreciate the thought and hard work that goes into all of these studies, but I was issued a really good reminder of those limitations, especially the ones that go out and say 20, 30, 40 years into the future. There's an article in this month's Governing magazine that talked about the civic obsession with long-range plans that lead to a lot of work that cannot anticipate the disruptors of the status quo. Quote, but the reality of ultra-long-range urban futurism isn't that it isn't a reliable predictor of anything, or is that it is not a reliable predictor of anything. Suppose your city adopted a 30-year plan in 1989. It would have missed a few events, such as the arrival of the internet, the threat of terrorism, the decline in crime rates, and the comeback of central cities. In other words, it would have been essentially useless. Now, more helpful is a strategy, a plan of action to achieve agreed upon goals, a means to chart our own course. And I'm looking forward to extracting the action steps from all of these studies to inform us as we develop the strategy for our future. The council and I, in our goal-setting session last week, put together what I feel is a very thoughtful plan for the next 2 years that will help us further this vision of charting our own future. If adopted in our council meeting next week, we will convene a review committee to update our charter, specifically Section 44, which has language in it that is unacceptable to this community. We will look to update our Parks Master Plan, which is now 10 years old and counting. We want to actively work to improve inclusion in all aspects of our city. We want to take a new look at how our young adults are involved as city council and committee liaisons. We want to complete these studies for the urban growth boundary and find out what our action steps are. And we need to take a deep dive into our city services and staffing to determine what we as a community want to have for services and how to provide them sustainably. Now, we heard from all of you 2 years ago that we needed more parks and police, and we did that. As our population grows, however, and our density increases, the calls for code enforcement is one area that clearly we need to increase our capacity. We also have to look at what we're doing, what we want our city to be, and then develop our strategies and the means to achieve that vision. Together, we will chart our course toward a level of staffing that will make sense and use our resources responsibly and transparently. Keizer is on a good course for our future because of the strong foundation established in our community, forged in the commitment to pride, spirit, and volunteerism. We are known for showing up, speaking up, getting involved, and getting it done. It's the Keizer way. And that way welcomes everyone to take part and enjoy the benefits of this caring community. As we chart this course for the future, I feel very confident that through our coming together to create it, we will continue to have something every day to celebrate about our great city of Keizer. Thank you very much.